Beloved, I want to confront a mindset today that has crippled destinies, silenced dreams, and buried potential before it ever had a chance to rise. It is the fear of failure. Too many people run from it, hide from it, and even quit because of it. But hear me clearly, failure is not your enemy. Failure is a tool. Failure is a teacher. Failure is a necessary part of the process that God uses to shape greatness within you. The world will tell you that if you fall, you have lost, but the kingdom declares something different. Proverbs 20:16 says, "For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again." Notice that righteousness is not defined by never falling, it is defined by the ability to rise every single time. That means your fall does not disqualify you, it qualifies you for growth, for strength, for wisdom, and ultimately for victory. Every failure carries within it the seed of success, but only those who refuse to quit will ever see it manifest. Listen carefully. Some of the greatest victories in your life are hidden inside your greatest failures. The pain you felt, the disappointment you experienced, the doors that closed in your face, none of it was wasted. God does not waste experiences. He refines through them. He strengthens through them. He prepares you through them. What you call failure, God calls preparation. What you call loss, God calls training. The problem is not that people fail. The problem is that they stop. They allow one fall to define their identity. They allow one mistake to silence their calling. They allow one setback to convince them that they are not capable. But hear this truth, your destiny is not determined by how many times you fall. It is determined by how many times you rise with faith, with courage, and with determination. This message is not for the comfortable. It is for the ones who have been knocked down. It is for the ones who tried and failed. It is for the ones who are tired, but still have a fire inside them that refuses to die. Today, we are not running from failure, we are confronting it, understanding it, and using it as a stepping stone to total victory. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, your perspective will change. You will no longer fear failure, you will embrace it. You will no longer avoid falling. You will learn how to rise stronger every time. And when you understand this principle, you will realize something powerful. If you are willing to fail again, you are positioning yourself to win everything. Beloved, let us establish this truth with absolute clarity. Failure is not your enemy, it is your instructor. Proverbs 24:16 declares, "For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again." Notice carefully, the scripture does not deny the fall, it emphasizes the rising. The distinction of the righteous is not perfection, but persistence. It is not the absence of failure, but the refusal to remain down. This means that every fall in your life is not a conclusion, it is a continuation. It is not a defeat, it is a development process designed to strengthen your character, sharpen your mind, and prepare you for the level of success God has ordained for you. Too many people misinterpret failure as rejection, as if God has abandoned them or as if their destiny has been cancelled. But understand, this failure is not God's rejection, it is His redirection. It is a divine tool used to expose weakness, correct error, and build resilience. Every time you fall, something is being revealed, either a flaw in your strategy, a gap in your preparation, or an area in your character that needs refinement. The fall is not there to destroy you, it is there to develop you. Those who succeed are not those who avoid failure, but those who embrace it as a necessary stage of growth. Growth never happens in comfort. Growth is forged in pressure, in mistakes, in moments where things do not go as planned. When you fall, you are forced to think differently, to analyze, to adjust, and to rise with greater wisdom. Failure strips away pride, eliminates complacency, and forces you to depend on God with deeper faith. It teaches you lessons that success can never teach. Success celebrates outcomes, but failure reveals processes. Success may give you recognition, but failure gives you understanding, and it is understanding that sustains long-term victory. Beloved, every great achievement is built on a foundation of previous failures. The difference between those who win and those who remain stagnant is not talent, not opportunity, but mindset. The one who wins says, "I fell, but I will rise again." The one who loses says, "I fell, and I cannot continue." Your response to failure determines your future. If you allow failure to define you, you will remain where you fell. But if you use failure as fuel, as motivation, as a stepping stone, you will rise stronger, wiser, and more prepared than before. Understand this deeply. Falling is part of the journey, but staying down is a choice. God has already given you the capacity to rise. The strength to stand again is already within you. Every time you choose to get back up, you are exercising faith, building resilience, and aligning yourself with the nature of the righteous. The fall may shake you, but it cannot destroy you unless you surrender to it. So embrace failure. Do not run from it, do not fear it, and do not allow it to define you. Let it train you, let it teach you, and let it transform you. Because every time you rise, you are moving closer to mastery, closer to purpose, and closer to the victory that God has already prepared for your life. Beloved, hear this truth with conviction. Trials are not sent to break you, they are sent to build you. James 1:12 declares, "Blessed is the one who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life." There is a reward attached to endurance, but that reward is only accessed by those who refuse to quit. Trials are the testing ground of your faith, the refining fire of your character, and the proving place of your commitment to God's purpose. You cannot bypass them, you cannot escape them, and you cannot grow without them. Endurance is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. Many people receive a vision from God, but few have the endurance to walk through the process required to bring it to pass. The journey will test your patience, challenge your faith, and confront your limitations. There will be moments of doubt, seasons of delay, and situations that seem to contradict everything you believed. But understand this, those moments are not signs of defeat. They are signs of development. Every trial is shaping you into the person capable of sustaining the blessing you are praying for. Strength is not developed in ease, it is forged in resistance. Just as a muscle grows stronger under pressure, your faith grows stronger under trials. When you endure hardship, when you continue despite opposition, when you stand firm in the face of adversity, you are building spiritual resilience. You are training your mind to remain focused, your spirit to remain anchored, and your heart to remain faithful. Trials reveal what is inside you. They expose weakness, but they also activate strength that you did not know you possessed. Beloved, the danger is not in the trial. The danger is in quitting during the trial. Many people are on the verge of breakthrough, but they abandon the process because it becomes uncomfortable. They interpret difficulty as a sign to stop, when in reality it is a signal to push forward. The blessing is not given to those who start, it is given to those who finish. Endurance is what separates the victorious from the defeated. It is the ability to remain consistent when results are not visible, to stay committed when progress is slow, and to trust God when circumstances are unclear. Understand this clearly, every trial has an expiration date. It is temporary, but the strength it produces is permanent. The pain you endure today is building capacity for tomorrow. The pressure you face now is preparing you for influence, responsibility, and success at a higher level. Do not waste your trial by complaining, doubting, or retreating. Use it as an opportunity to grow, to strengthen your faith, and to deepen your trust in God. Beloved, persevere. Stand firm, refuse to quit. Because on the other side of endurance is victory, strength, and a crown that cannot be taken away. Trials are not your enemy, they are your training ground. And those who endure will not only survive, they will overcome, excel, and win. Beloved, let us confront another powerful truth. Mistakes are not setbacks, they are lessons in disguise. Proverbs 3:5-6 instructs us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. This means that even when you make mistakes, even when your understanding fails you, God is still able to guide, correct, and redirect you. Mistakes are not the end of your journey. They are part of the process of gaining wisdom, clarity, and maturity. Too many people are paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. They hesitate, delay, and avoid action because they want everything to be perfect. But perfection is not the pathway to success, progress is. And progress is often built on trial, error, and correction. Every mistake reveals something valuable. It exposes what does not work, highlights areas for improvement, and provides insight that can only be gained through experience. Those who succeed are not those who never make mistakes. They are those who learn from them quickly and adjust their actions accordingly. Wisdom is not inherited, it is developed. It is the product of experience, reflection, and correction. When you make a mistake, you are presented with a choice. You can either repeat it or you can learn from it. The wise choose to learn. They analyze their actions, identify the lesson, and apply it moving forward. This is how growth happens. This is how understanding deepens. This is how you become more effective, more strategic, and more aligned with God's purpose for your life. Beloved, mistakes also cultivate humility. They remind you that you are dependent on God's guidance, that your own understanding is limited, and that you need his wisdom in every decision you make. This humility opens the door for divine direction. When you acknowledge God, seek his counsel, and remain teachable, he will correct your path and lead you towards success. Mistakes become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks when you submit them to God and allow Him to transform them into lessons. Do not allow your mistakes to define you. They are not your identity, they are your education. Every error, every misstep, every wrong decision carries within it the potential for growth and improvement. The only real failure is refusing to learn. If you ignore the lesson, you repeat the mistake. But if you embrace the lesson, you elevate your thinking and your actions to a higher level. Beloved, move forward with confidence. Take action, even if it means making mistakes along the way. Trust God to guide you, to correct you, and to strengthen you through every experience. Because in the process of learning, adjusting, and growing, you are being shaped into a person of wisdom, strength, and purpose. And that wisdom will lead you to victory. Beloved, let this truth settle deep within your spirit. Quitting is not an option for those who are called to win. Galatians 6:9 declares with authority, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not give up." That means your harvest is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. But the condition is clear, you must not quit. The greatest tragedy in life is not failure, it is abandonment. It is walking away when the breakthrough is closer than you think. It is surrendering in the process when the promise is already in motion. Persistence is the force that unlocks what delay tries to hide. Many people start with enthusiasm, passion, and vision, but they lack endurance. They become weary when results are not immediate, discouraged when obstacles arise, and distracted when the journey becomes uncomfortable. But understand this, anything of value requires time, pressure, and consistency. God does not reward enthusiasm, He rewards faithfulness. It is not how you start that determines your outcome, it is how you continue. The seed does not produce harvest overnight. There is a process, a season of unseen growth, where nothing appears to be happening, yet everything is being prepared beneath the surface. Weariness is the enemy of persistence. It attacks your mind, your motivation, and your faith. It whispers that your efforts are in vain, that your work is not producing results, that your time is being wasted. But these are lies designed to make you quit before your season arrives. You must learn to push beyond feelings, beyond emotions, and beyond temporary discouragement. Persistence is not driven by how you feel, it is driven by what you know. And what you know is this: God is faithful, His promises are sure, and your labor is not in vain. Beloved, breakthrough is always on the other side of persistence. It is never given to those who stop, it is revealed to those who continue. Every step you take, every effort you make, every moment you refuse to quit is bringing you closer to the harvest. Even when you cannot see progress, progress is being made. Even when you cannot feel change, change is taking place. The process may be hidden, but the results will be visible in due time. The key is to remain consistent, to remain committed, and to remain faithful regardless of what you see. Understand this clearly: quitting cancels the harvest. The moment you stop, you disconnect yourself from the outcome that was already in motion. But persistence keeps you aligned with the promise. It keeps you moving, growing, and progressing until the manifestation becomes undeniable. Those who succeed are not those who never face difficulty. They are those who refuse to surrender to it. So I challenge you, beloved, refuse to quit. When it becomes difficult, keep going. When it becomes tiring, keep moving. When it feels like nothing is happening, stand firm and continue. Your breakthrough is not ahead of persistence, it is locked within it. If you hold on, if you remain faithful, if you refuse to give up, you will reap. Not might reap, not could reap, you will reap. The victory is certain, but it belongs only to those who endure until the end. Beloved, there is a divine process behind every promise, and you must learn to trust it even when you do not understand it. Romans 8:28 declares with unshakable authority, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose." Notice the power of this truth: all things. Not some things, not only the victories, not just the moments of success, but even the failures, the delays, the disappointments, and the setbacks. Everything is being orchestrated by God for your ultimate good. This means that what you perceive as a setback is not a stop, it is a setup. Too many people misinterpret difficulty as denial. When things do not go according to their expectations, they assume that God is against them or that their destiny has been disrupted. But understand this: God's process is not always comfortable, and it is rarely predictable. It is designed to develop you, to prepare you, and to position you for what you are not yet ready to handle. The process stretches your faith, challenges your patience, and forces you to depend on God beyond your own understanding. What you call delay, God calls preparation. What you call failure, God calls alignment. Trusting the process requires faith. It requires believing that God is working even when you cannot see it, that He is orchestrating events behind the scenes, and that every experience, good or bad, is contributing to your growth. The process is where your character is built, your mindset is refined, and your capacity is expanded. Without the process, you may reach success, but you will not sustain it. God is not only interested in giving you the blessing, He is committed to making you capable of handling it. Beloved, every setback carries a lesson. It reveals areas that need improvement, exposes weaknesses that must be strengthened, and redirects your focus toward what truly matters. If you resist the process, you delay your progress. But if you embrace it, you accelerate your growth. The process is not your enemy, it is your training ground. It is where you learn discipline, patience, and trust. It is where your faith is tested and proven genuine. Understand this clearly. Nothing in your life is wasted when it is placed in God's hands. Every tear, every struggle, every moment of confusion is being used for a greater purpose. The path may not be straight, and the journey may not be easy, but the outcome is guaranteed for those who trust Him. God does not make mistakes, and He does not waste experiences. He is weaving everything together into a masterpiece that will reveal His glory through your life. So trust the process. Even when it is painful, even when it is slow, even when it seems uncertain, trust that God is working. Because the process is not taking you away from your destiny, it is leading you directly into it. Beloved, every fall you experience is an opportunity to rise with greater strength, deeper faith, and stronger determination. Isaiah 40:31 declares, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." This is not a promise for those who never fall. It is a promise for those who continue to trust God in the process, who rise again and again, refusing to be defeated by temporary setbacks. Every failure you face has the potential to build a faith that cannot be shaken. Failure tests your belief. It challenges what you truly trust in, your own ability or God's faithfulness. When everything is going well, faith is easy. But when things fall apart, when plans collapse, and when expectations are not met, that is when real faith is developed. It is in those moments that you learn to depend on God beyond your own understanding, to stand firm when circumstances say otherwise, and to believe that victory is still possible even after defeat. Rising again is a decision. It is a choice to reject defeat, to silence doubt, and to act with courage despite past failures. Every time you get back up, you are building resilience. You are strengthening your spirit. You are proving that your destiny is greater than your mistakes. Failure does not weaken you, it refines you. It strips away fear, builds confidence, and prepares you to handle greater challenges with greater strength. Beloved, unshakable faith is not developed in comfort. It is forged in adversity. It is built through repeated experiences of falling and rising, of failing and learning, of struggling and overcoming. Each time you rise, your faith becomes stronger, your perspective becomes clearer, and your determination becomes more powerful. You begin to understand that failure is temporary, but growth is permanent. You realize that every setback is an opportunity to come back stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Do not fear falling again. Fear staying down. Because as long as you rise, you are moving forward. As long as you stand again, you are progressing toward your destiny. God's promise is not that you will never fall. It is that He will renew your strength every time you do. The power is not in avoiding failure. The power is in rising stronger because of it. So rise, beloved. Rise after every disappointment, every mistake, every setback. Let each fall build your faith, strengthen your spirit, and push you closer to your purpose. Because the one who rises again and again is the one who ultimately wins everything. Beloved, as we bring this message to its powerful conclusion, let this truth be firmly established in your spirit. Failure is not your end. It is your pathway to victory. You were never designed to live a life free from falling. You were designed to live a life defined by rising. Every setback, every mistake, every disappointment you have experienced is not a sign that you are losing. It is evidence that you are in the process of becoming. Becoming stronger, becoming wiser, becoming unstoppable. The world may measure success by perfection, but the kingdom measures success by persistence. It is not the one who never falls who wins. It is the one who refuses to stay down. Proverbs declares that the righteous fall 7 times and rise again, and that means your ability to rise is your greatest strength. Every time you get back up, you are declaring that your destiny is greater than your difficulty, that your purpose is stronger than your pain, and that your future cannot be cancelled by your past. Hear this clearly. Nothing you have gone through is wasted. Every trial has strengthened you. Every mistake has taught you. Every delay has prepared you. Every failure has built something inside you that success alone could never produce. God is not intimidated by your failures. He uses them. He shapes you through them. He positions you through them. What you thought was a breakdown was actually a breakthrough in disguise. What you thought was the end was simply a transition into a higher level of purpose and responsibility. But the key, the defining factor is this: you must refuse to quit. Persistence is the gateway to manifestation. If you keep going, you will win. If you keep rising, you will overcome. If you keep trusting, you will see the promise fulfilled. Your breakthrough is not somewhere far away. It is locked inside your decision to try again, to stand again, to believe again. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to total victory. Beloved, let this be your declaration today. I will not fear failure. I will not run from challenges. I will not be defined by my mistakes. I will rise again and again and again until I walk fully in the purpose God has designed for my life. I will embrace the process, trust His timing, and persist with unwavering faith. Because I understand now, if I am willing to fail again, I am positioning myself to win everything. And as we close, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Thank you for listening with an open heart. Thank you for allowing this message to challenge your mindset and strengthen your spirit. Thank you for choosing growth over comfort, faith over fear, and persistence over quitting. Your presence here is not by accident. It is a sign that you are ready to rise, ready to grow, and ready to step into a greater dimension of purpose. May God bless you with strength when you feel weak, courage when you feel afraid, and faith when you feel uncertain. May He remind you that every fall is temporary, but every rise is powerful. Go forward with confidence, with determination, and with the unshakable belief that your victory is inevitable if you refuse to give up. Thank you, beloved. Rise again, stand strong, and go win everything.